Little Sylvie loved walks with her mom, Alara. They held hands and explored the big, green woods near their home. "Look, Mom," Sylvie would often shout, pointing at a buzzing bee or a dancing butterfly. One evening, as the sun began to dip, a tiny light flickered past Sylvie's nose. "A firefly," she whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. The little light danced and twinkled, inviting her to follow. Sylvie let go of her mom's hand, just for a moment, and tiptoed after the magical bug. It zipped deeper into the trees, and Sylvie, giggling, followed its every twinkle. "Wait for me," she called softly. But when the firefly finally winked out of sight, Sylvie looked around. The trees looked different. The path was gone, and Mom was nowhere to be seen. A shiver ran down Sylvie's spine. She was lost. As darkness crept in, the woods grew spooky. Strange shadows danced, and twigs snapped like tiny monsters. Sylvie hugged herself tight, wishing she was safe in her bed. Suddenly, 2 glowing eyes peered from behind a bush. Then another, and another. Small, bumpy creatures with pointy ears and grumbly voices shuffled out. They were goblins. They grabbed Sylvie's hands and pulled her towards a dark hole in the ground. Down, down, down they went, into a damp, smelly cave. The goblins pushed her into a corner. Sylvie sat there, tears rolling down her cheeks, missing her mom and wishing she hadn't chased that firefly. Days passed, and Sylvie watched the goblins. They loved to play a silly game where they tossed shiny pebbles at a target. They were not very smart, and they always cheered loudly when a pebble missed. One day, Sylvie had an idea. "Hey, goblins," she called. "I bet I can hit that target with my eyes closed." The goblins laughed and dared her to try. Sylvie closed her eyes, pretended to aim, and then, with a mighty leap, she ran past them and out of the cave. She ran and ran through the dark woods until she saw a familiar light. It was her home, and there, waiting with a worried but hopeful face, was her mom, Alara. Sylvie hugged her tight, never letting go.